The Edmonton Oilers win, beating the Calgary Flames 7-1. 7-1. The Edmonton Oilers scored 7 goals. The Flames only got 1. Flames fans, I don't think that there's any watching. This is an Oilers channel. Why would Flames fans watch an Oilers channel? They want to burn us alive. If there are any watching, this is the part where you turn off the video and go relax. Because, believe me, you think I'm already laughing a bit at your expense, it's gonna get a lot worse as the longer this video progresses. Because, and here we go, we're just gonna hop right into it. Tonight, this game for me is remarkable. Because not only did the Oilers win 7-1, they did it with only 5 defensemen for most of this game. All but 14 seconds, all but I think in the first couple of minutes it was, Cuckoo went down. And they did it with only 11 forwards for a good majority of this game, about half of this game if I'm not mistaken. So, very, very good job by the Oilers tonight. Even with those 2 barriers, even with only 16 skaters, they were still able to get it done. Starting off, right off the bat here, only 1 line change tonight. Ennis and Cahoon get flipped, meaning we get back the Ennis, Kara, Archibald line, and Cahoon moves back up a Draisaitl and Yamamoto. No changes defensively, and Koskinen starts Smith back up. Obviously, last night Smith started, so we have to do that for the sake of rest, pretty much. I can't really say a lot about bearings tonight, because let's face it, once Cuckoo got hurt, and then after Yamamoto got hurt, line combinations got thrown out the window. This game started off very energetic for the Oilers. They wanted to play. They were getting a lot of chances, generating a lot of activity, especially in the first 90 seconds or so. Good couple of shifts from the top 2 lines. Cuckoo gets absolutely rocked by Bennett. 14 seconds into his only shift of the night. This knocks him out for the rest of the game, and we will... you know what? I'm probably not going to go into detail on the Cuckoo injury after. Cuckoo's been solid, but that being said, this opens up a major opportunity for Caleb Jones to get back into the lineup. That's all I'm going to say, that this injury does. It's obviously never good to see anyone get hurt, but when you're talking lineup-wise, because let's face it, I think he might be out for at least a game or 2, when you're talking who might replace him, it's probably Caleb Jones. And then I would assume that then you would get Russell back up with Bouchard, Jones in with Larson, unless they're going to put William Lagesson in, which that could be what you do, but who really knows? I'd like to see either of them back in the lineup. But because Cuckoo got hit by Bennett, it ends up being an interference call because Cuckoo didn't have the puck. 2 Barry blasts where he just gets the puck and just blasts it on net. That creates some chaos up front. And then a little bit later in the power play, at about the midway point, McDavid with the puck, he has a bit of a shot pass, just shoot passes it over to Chiasson, and he tips it in. Power play goal, assisted by McDavid. It's 1-0 for the Edmonton Oilers. Sam Bennett versus Kara then happens as a fight. I think Kara fairly handily won that fight, bringing my personal fight record for them to 1-2-1. After revising a fight earlier, I can't remember which one it was. I think them having 2 fight losses this year is more appropriate. But yeah, 1-2-1 when it comes to fights this year. Few shots for the Flames to start off. That would change in a big way as time went on. Nurse, then, this is later in the period, or at least a little more on. Nurse gets a nice little stick lift on Nikita Nesterov's stick, and McDavid gets the puck and falls behind the net. And RNH right up in front. You know what happens. Boom, it's 2-0. Yeah, McDavid was great tonight. We all know he was. We all know. We all know, right? Draisaitl then takes an interference penalty, and this is where this was the only bad part of the night, really, if we're being honest here. He takes an interference penalty. Tkachuk gets the puck. I don't know if it was his through the legs or spinning shot. It was one of those two. He takes a shot. Chaos breaks out in front. Nurse shoves down Tkachuk, and he goes into Koskinen, Mangiapane scoops up the loose puck, pops it in, and it's a 2-1 hockey game. Now, that was challenged for goaltender interference. It was ruled that it was a good goal. For me, I don't know what to say about that because part of me thinks, okay, that was probably... It really depends on how you look on it. It really does, because a part of me thinks that Nurse, because Nurse shoved him pretty hard, had to stick over the head at one point. But on the other hand, you could also see, and maybe it was just a reflex, but you could also see Kachuk shove. Personally, looking back, the broadcaster said that they thought that this should be disallowed. I personally think that, it's tough to tell, but I do think that they made the right call on this one. That's just my opinion on it. It obviously sucked, and I was obviously hoping it would get overturned, but I had a feeling it was going to be said to be a goal. So yeah, it ends up being a goal. It's 2-1, and the Oilers get a delay of game penalty, which they then kill. The Oilers are getting killed in this middle part of the first, pretty much from 15 minutes to 5 minutes, especially in the shot category. And there was one time tonight where, it was 4 straight passes in a row were directly to Calgary Flames players in our own zone. Nothing ended up going in. Michael Backlund takes a holding penalty. Everyone but Alex Chiasson touches the puck, and this was a play. It was just passing all around. And I actually forgot to start, which is what I'm doing right now, and I want to make sure. I'm just going to do a quick check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. But everyone touches the puck. And then Barry gets it up at the point. After all this passing happens, he shoots it on net. McDavid, nice little tip, and it's a 3-1 hockey game. And then, really, after that, all I have left note-wise for the first period is Cuckoo was out for the game. They pretty much said that around that point near the end of the first. Goudreau nearly had a breakaway, but Nurse was able to break it up. And even though they're being nearly doubled up in shots, it's still a 3-1 lead with them playing very well going into the second period. And things were only going to get better for the Edmonton Oilers. By the way, very happy that tonight they gave the broadcast over to... I can't say his name, so I'm not going to try. But if I'm not mistaken, the man behind the Bonino call, if I'm not mistaken, that's who it is. I might be incredibly wrong, but I'm not going to try and say his name because that's just a thing of mine. I don't try and say names unless I actually know them. And I can't even remember it was a better broadcast team. Let's just say that. It was a good broadcast team tonight. It didn't constantly just leave me wanting to mute the TV at times. That being said, we go into the second period, and then we get a very good goal, a very good goal, a great goal by Connor McDavid. Noah Hanifin bobbles the puck at center ice. McDavid gets it, walks in, and he's looking towards the wing. I think Poole-Jarvy's there, open for a shot. He's looking right at Poole-Jarvy. He's about to, and he snipes it on net. Markstrom gets scored on. It's 4-1. Whoo! What a goal that was. I loved it. I loved that goal. Sorry. I've lost my point. I'm getting to the point of just exhaustion in a way. Edmonton have opened up a bakery in their own zone. There was a point where it was just constant turnovers. Yeah, it was not the best play. Koskinen was doing the work, though. Koskinen was keeping them in the game. Nikita Nesterov takes a high sticking penalty. There was a shorthanded 3-on-2 opportunity for the Flames that got stopped. Nothing came in the power play. And then McDavid, who already has 2 goals and 2 assists at this point. McDavid brings it in, feeds it to Kara in the slot. Whenever I get up there, again, it's name thing. It's hard. Jujhar Khaira gets a slot shot. He can't bury it. And then McDavid finds it behind the net, carries it around, snipes again. It's a hat trick. A hat trick! It's 5-1. Markstrom gets the mercy pull after, if I'm not mistaken, 5 goals on 14 shots. Boy, that's brutal. And, I've heard a couple times this year the storyline of, oh man, the Edmonton Oilers tried to make a push at Jacob Markstrom. This felt good because this showed this just felt like a bit irony. Let's just say everybody wanted us to get this goalie, and we completely lit him up tonight. Lindholm then takes a boarding penalty. If I'm not mistaken, this was where Kailer Yamamoto got hurt. With Kailer Yamamoto's injury, I don't know if it's going to be long term. Again, I also don't know if Cuckoo's is going to be long term, but it does look like Cuckoo's is going to be a bit more of a problem than Yamamoto's. Yamamoto, I don't know what you do there, man. You got to be creative when it comes to that. I imagine we're just going to see Archibald get popped up, and then Neil third line, Shore slots in. That's what makes sense to me. Or Turris comes back, something along those lines. But yeah, Kailer Yamamoto might be out for a little bit of time off of the boarding penalty by Elias Lindholm. Play high in the right side of the zone, so we're talking like in the right hand defenseman spot in the O zone, pretty much. That's where we're talking about this play starting. Nurse gets the puck and just does a nice little flick of the stick, gets the puck over to Ryan Nugent Hopkins. Hopkins just walks in, scores, and what a shocker. It's a 6-1 game now. Oh man, this was not good at all. Kara takes an interference penalty, killed by the Oilers. Russell takes a high sticking penalty, another good kill by the Oilers. And then we get to the third period. Dominic Cahoon has the puck at center ice, feeds it to Josh Archibald. It's 7-1. Really, at this point, I'm not going to say anything much in depth because I don't really have a lot of in-depth stuff to say here. Koskinen made a great save on Milan Lucic, tip of the glove, taking the puck away. Valimaki takes a holding call. The second power play unit was killing it. I mean, if those guys are decimating you, listen, I'm sorry, right? I love the depth on this team, but we're talking on the power play. Godden Haas, Tyler Ennis, Josh Archibald, Darnell Nurse, who's good, and Evan Bouchard, who's good in ways. He's not perfect yet, is what I'm trying to say. That unit decimated everything. Like, they were a very good unit. Archibald then takes a high sticking penalty, 18 seconds on 4 on 4. The rest of it, a Flames power play. Absolutely nothing to show for on anybody's side. Koskinen and Rittich then trade phenomenal saves within the same 30 seconds. And I just wrote here Yamamoto out for the game. And that is it. The other big note here, Koskinen makes 44 saves. What a game from the Edmonton Oilers tonight. Top to bottom, perfection. Perfection, in my opinion. For that one goal, you can make a lot of arguments about it. I don't know if you can solely blame it on anyone. Because here's the thing. With that goal, you can't blame it on Koskinen because he was being shoved. You can't blame it on Nurse, in my opinion, because I don't think he was directly trying to force Tkachuk. I think it was just one of those things that happens. And then, obviously, when your goalie's down in that position, of course you're going to get scored on with the puck right there. So I can't really blame the goal on them. Other than a few bit of a rocky stretches, this team played great. Nuge, McDavid, Puljujärvi. All three of them did jobs that were very well done tonight. Obviously, Nuge got 2 goals, got an assist. He played very well. Puljujärvi, I don't think he showed up on the scoreboard, but he still did his thing, and that's what we need out of him. Just somebody who can do his thing and also put points on the board every couple of games, even every other game to every couple of games. And Connor. Por favor, Connor McDavid. 3 goals, 2 assists, 5 points tonight. He threw some hits. He got physical at times as well. If there were any doubt that he is the best player in the world, hopefully tonight has finally silenced it. Because, my God. Dominic Cahoon did his thing. Leon Draisaitl played well. Yamamoto got hurt. Hopefully he's back soon. Ennis, Kara, Archibald, Neil, Haas, Chiasson. They did what they needed to do to be depth players on the Edmonton Oilers. Nurse and Barry. Barry had a very good game tonight, in my opinion. Didn't get exposed at any point. And very happy to see that. Cuckoo Bouchard. I can't really say anything on Cuckoo. He was probably the worst player tonight, and that's only because he barely played. He didn't even play 15 seconds. Bouchard did well, though. Russell Larson. that's been okay. I mean, we've had concerns about them, but they've been all right. And Mikko freaking Koskinen. This game could have been a 7-5 game if it were not for Mikko Koskinen. The saves he made tonight were phenomenal. This is the type of game that gives you confidence in him. I don't know what happens, but all I'm going to say is this. Over the past while, we have now shown that we have Mikko Koskinen and Mike Smith both playing very good hockey, especially against Calgary, and that is good to see. And that's it. That's it for this little stretch of the Battle of Alberta. We now hold a 2-1 series lead in the Battle of Alberta, which is great to see. I'm very happy about this. And yeah, that's it. What did you think about this decimation of Calgary Flames as an organization? You know, it's kind of interesting because I took a peek over on Flames Twitter during the game just because, man, I love going into active salt mines. And ooh, the salt. The salt was there. I even saw fans saying that they wanted the team relocated to Atlanta. And it wasn't a lot. I think there was one comment I saw that said that. All I'm going to say is this. Calgary, you're literally making your own fans, most likely from Alberta, ask for the team to be relocated back to Atlanta. Man, I think Calgary need to start taking lessons from the best team in Alberta. Thank you all for watching this video. I will see you all in the next one. 7-1, man. 7-1.